This is Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity. Alrighty, right. We're going to talk to our pal Durance here. We're going to rest again. And see if that triggers something. If not, we're just going to talk to him. Alright, it didn't. Let's just talk to him.
What is it, Watcher?
Durance doesn't seem to recognize you for a second. Then blinks. Frowns. Does what we learned about Boudica trouble you?
It stinks of her. It is justice, but if her greater purpose was to think Margaret would fall prey to such deceit. And Aethys. Whitewind had always claimed to be invading Deerwood to free it. What if it were true? What if he had come to stop Boudica's plot before it began?
Oh shit, I didn't even think about that. Maybe Whitewind was actually trying to help. His face contorts in fury. Welcome back, Saito. That is a good point. Well, now he's starting to have... He's got to question everything he's ever done, basically.
Surely Aethys earned his death at Godhammer Citadel, but not for those reasons. Not to keep him silent. If such a thing has brought about this chaos...
Durance tilts his head, as if listening to an inner voice. Then he frowns, the frown deepening as he speaks.
Must we always be tools of gods? If Boudica and Margaret, if they are the cause of this, the Hollowborn, if the purges were never necessary, if Aethys was fighting back...
Durance's face collapses in fury, his body shaking. Must we always be tools of God? It's a strange thing to hear a priest say, right? The priests are supposed to be the ones that are, like, all signed up for being tools of gods. Like, that is literally your class, sir. Durance has always been kind of a reluctant man of the cloth, though. Godhammer didn't save Deerwood, it doomed it. I don't know what to say here. The Hollowborn were the crime of another god.
So many lies. And Boudica. Perhaps she is the next god to fall beneath the Godhammer.
Godhammer Part 2. We blew up one god, let's blow up another one, apparently. Durance's body continues to shake, his hands clenching white into fists. Sweat builds, streaming down the sides of his face. Would it have been better had you been spared this knowledge?
No, I am glad to have walked this far with you, seen this truth.
Durance is cold.
Perhaps it was what I was meant to see, with a Watcher's eyes.
He glances at you beneath his brows warily. Right, so if it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't have learned this, so I'm pretty valuable, aren't I? It's all that bajiggity that you gave me when we fucking met.
All these dances of words and intrigues, machines of men, twisted, ripping the souls of children, and by the gods, the goddess of justice. If I could end her like Aethys, Margaret burned her once. One can do so again.
He takes a breath, his eyes narrowing. He's pissed. What Durance is saying is he's been spying on you when you bathe. Is that right?
Boudica, she must answer to her own justice.
His face darkens. Justice or revenge? What is the difference between justice and revenge? In my opinion, people just justify, literally in this case, literally justify as in to make just whatever the fuck they want, and they can call it justice or not, depending on who's in power or who wants to, you know, make whatever they're doing seem legitimate. But then other people are not allowed to do the same thing because then it's just revenge, it's not justice. I mean, to me, the line between those two concepts is such bullshit. It's all just based on some arbitrary bullshit and bias and personal agendas and so forth. I don't think there's much difference. If somebody goes out and, like, kills my family, and the state can take that person and execute them, that's justice. But if I execute them, that's not okay. That's revenge. That's a crime. What's the difference? They're going to get executed anyway. Why the fuck do you have the right to execute them and I don't? Why is one wrong and the other not? Either no one should execute them, or anyone should be able to. Personally, I think I'm for the no one execute them stance, but I could go the other way. If we changed our system of laws to the other way, I could live in that world.
Anyone with a shred of spirit seeks both justice and punishment. It burns in the heart of anyone who lives. All seek it. If the world does not balance, we all drown in the oceans. And the gods would not care. Margaret, she must be redeemed. And punishing Woodica, that will serve.
Durance frowns, his hands clenching. Margaret was allied with Woodica. She tried to kill all the makers of the Godhammer.
Is this some final joke at my expense? To test my faith further? And why would you think that, Watcher?
Durance looks at you for a moment, then his lip peels back, sneering. He laughs, loud and harsh. This conversation just got complex. The others who made the Godhammer. They all died, didn't they? That's why I saw their symbols fade from your staff.
If all you have are questions, then I have enough of those. She is a bitch of a goddess, to be sure. But even a whore only goes so far in crossing those she serves.
Durance frowns, and his smile dies as he stares at you. Yeah, but she doesn't serve you. You serve her. You said you left Ashfall without telling anyone of your departure?
You answer a question with a question. Then why did I feel her disappointment at Halgot? Why were we shamed?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, Saito. More of a Socratic dialogue. That's generally a better way to convince anyone of anything. Don't tell them the thing. Get them to think they came up with the thing on their own. Durance is silent for a moment, and when he speaks again, he speaks low and slowly, almost carefully. He frowns. But apparently here I kind of have to be direct. Because I think she tried to kill you there.
Kill me? She is a goddess. I still drink from her burning breasts, Watcher. If she wished me dead, she could trace me to my source and kill me.
Durance looks at you for a moment as if you're mad. Then his lip peels back, sneering. He laughs, loud and harsh. His face burns and his hand clenches tight on the staff. Here we go with the hand clenching tight on the staff. I knew that was going to come up eventually. He just can't help himself. He clenches his hand tight on that staff so often. Oh, man. People that look like they live inside a dumpster and murders household pets. There's nothing wrong with living in a dumpster. I mean, it's not really the best option, I don't think, in most cases. You have to be a little more creative and look around for a better place, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. In the dream of the Godhammer, your spirit looked blurred, indistinct in the light, as if it had been sheared from you. Durrance stares at you, his expression frozen, but he's silent, listening. If you had been damaged as I saw in the Godhammer vision, then she may be unable to see you as you once were. Durrance turns from you for a moment. His face twists in thought, conflicting emotions running across his features. Finally, he turns to you, his face steady.
There's no proof, Watcher. I was a fool to think you could help me see any farther than I could.
See, I was wondering why Durrance was still alive. This whole time I thought, why isn't Durrance dead? If he's one of the 12, why isn't he dead? And now maybe we're getting the answer to that. If you don't trust me, then trust your staff. Admit that the other Godhammer builders are dead. Durrance turns to the staff, and for a moment you see his eyes burning, taking in the edges of the wood, the symbols inlaid there, the 11 faded circles. And then he grips it very tightly.
They died in the blast, yes. The other 11. I was the only one to walk away. I thought we had wronged our goddess. That this was my trial, and if I could prove myself worthy of her! I should have known better. There is only one god of redemption, and I saw him ended.
Kind of hard to get redemption when you've just killed the god of redemption. It sucks. Think about the connotations of that, though. Imagine if you're in a world where there are literally gods, and they literally control and oversee aspects of human existence. If there's a god of redemption, and that god dies, imagine you live in a world where no one can ever be redeemed. Or anyone who falls from grace, or anyone who you know, does bad things or whatever, can never, like, come back from it, can never be forgiven, can never turn themselves around and become a different kind of person. That would be a grim world indeed, because I think redemption is one of the best things in the human experience. I think some of the best people are ones that walked very dark roads before. I mean, of course, it could just be personal bias for me to believe that, because I think it applies to me, and so I want that to be true. I want to believe in redemption because I'm a person that needs it. And a lot of the people I've known, my good friends and people I've cared about, have been those for whom redemption and the path to it was a major part of their life. So it's something I kind of have to believe in. But I love redemption stories more than just about anything else, in fiction at least. And, well, not just in fiction, in fact as well. So, if there was a world where there was a god of redemption and that god was killed, and there was no longer a chance of redemption for anyone, that would be a pretty grim world. As he studies the staff, you feel a wave of heat. A terrible energy rolling forth from it in waves, so much so it feels as if the Godhammer itself is alive in his hands. And past it, you hear a cry, like a child being born, and your eyes feel the flash of white, then 100 imagined shades of purple and white, streaming and circling into the howling of a storm, and beneath it, the grinding of ancient machines of stone, rock, and metal, grinding and turning until all around you feels as if it's burning, sinking into the shadows of the earth. Beneath the ground, the only place where a spirit might find refuge. Alright, I don't know what that's all about. What is the worth of the faith undested? Exactly, Saito. What is the worth? Wow, Durance is not happy. He just fucking Darth Vader Node up in here. When your vision clears, you see Durance, his hands clutching the staff tightly, and his eyes are bright, burning red. Atop the staff, the flame burns cleanly, brightly. As his gaze burns, he rips his gaze away and howls. A bellowing, horrid howl, like a wounded animal, and sweat pours down his brow. This is pretty intense for him. We can see that justice is served, to her and Boudica both.
To think I served her, I followed her. Now I shall serve no one. Boudica's lies must be answered. And now it seems I must take fire in war from a goddess's false claim as well. I still take from her strength as I did, for as long as it lasts. For I shall not cast her aside yet, until I have drained her dry and had my fill, just as she intended for me.
How does this work, though? I don't understand in this world, like, what the actual mechanics are here in, like, the cosmology or whatever. How does the priest get his power? If he's not getting it from the god for being loyal to the god and being a follower of the god, how does it work? How does he get to, like, be like, I'm not going to follow you, but I'm still going to use your power? How does he do that? Like, I don't understand. It seems like in some settings, at least, that would not fly. Like in D&D, they have to pray for their spells, and they get the spells granted to them by the god. And if they stopped serving the god would stop giving them spells. But apparently that's not the case here. Durance's face cracks into a snarl. His face becomes stone, his eyes still burning, almost hungrily. Durance snarls. So he's just had a revelation. He's no longer on Team Magrin, but he's going to continue to use her power. Now it's like he's leeching. It's like he's leeching off somebody's Wi-Fi. He's like, I'm not going to follow Magron anymore, but I still have her Wi-Fi password. So fuck it. I'm still going to steal internet from the fucking. I'm just going to be like taking a little bit of her bandwidth, and she just won't notice. You don't think the gods actually are the source of their respective elements in so much as they embody it and shape it? I guess. Yeah. I mean, I never understand what is really meant by gods in games. Like, where, what kind of power they actually supposed to have. It's weird when you're in a fantasy setting where there are literal gods, not just the idea of God that some people believe in, but that there's no proof of. But I mean, literal entities that there's ample proof of their existence, and everybody knows that they actually exist because they actually do stuff in, whatever. It's sort of weird to imagine, and it's hard to know, like, how much real reign do they have over the elements that make up their portfolio or whatever. And then you have all these different settings, and you're not sure from setting to setting what the. And a lot of times that's not even explored or explained, in the setting. You're just supposed to kind of take it as for granted. Oh yeah, there's gods, and yeah, they, exist and they matter, but we're not going to explain how, really. Otherwise, how could Magron be ended? Magrin. It's Magrin. It's supposed to be Magrin. That's the way he says it. To end her would require conflict, and if she was the source of conflict, how could it destroy her? I guess, yeah.
For I have learned one of the lessons of the faithful. The faithful may wound a goddess greater than any enemy. A purification is coming, and this fire shall consume them both.
Well, glad you had that big revelation, Durance. It sounds like I've talked to you enough to finish my quest, so let's move on. We're done here. Quest completed, the Trials of Durance. Durance is a pretty complicated character. I was able to get Durance to see that Mogren, fuck it, why do I always fuck that name up? Mogren had conspired with Wudica in creating the Godhammer, and that her refusing to speak with him wasn't because he had wronged her, but rather was because she had intended him to die with the other Godhammer engineers in order to keep secret her direct involvement in Eothas' destruction. Though it appears this alliance between the goddesses was short-lived, it sheds new light on the Saints' War and the epidemic of hollow-born infants that followed. Durance, for his part, has renounced his goddess and sworn revenge. As a man who's killed one god already, it would seem that he might be one of the only people alive who could make good on such a threat. Durance is basically the most resentful divorcee who ever lived.
What? If doubts and curiosity plague you...
I don't think there's anything new I can really... Alright, well, Durance, thanks for getting that quest out of my journal, bro. So we just have the main mission, no side quests, one task, a call to court. We need to travel to the Ducal Palace in the First Fires District of Defiance Bay. My ownership of Cadnua is in doubt. I must meet with Chancellor Warden at the Ducal Palace in First Fires to discuss the matter. Goodbye.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
Finally, welcome back, Devil of Karak. I have missed you. It has been rough without you. I can't live.
Sure.
If living is without you. Can't live. Where you will have to fight 5 dragons. Would not even be surprised at this point. Would not even be surprised. Alright, we're going to rest one more time just in case Devil of Karak needs it. And now we're going to bounce the fuck up out of here. First Fires. 22 hours and a half. That is a long time to journey. My people got it, though. Honestly, I don't give a shit about Cadnua. If they're like, we're disputing your right to have Cadnua, I'll be like, fine, take it. I don't care. I don't care about that fucking place, to be honest with you. I have almost 300,000 copper. I'm fucking rich as shit. I can buy anything I want. I can do anything I want. I can go anywhere I want. Take it. Take the stupid castle. I don't need to raise taxes. I don't need money from taxes. I don't need anything. Adana Firgist, an old hero of the Saints' War, has arrived at the stronghold. She was nearly set upon by brigands on the road, but your patrols intervened. Oh, she's giving me a whole bunch of security and prestige. If I cared about that at all, that'd be awesome. Take a different tack with player homes. If someone disputed my ownership of Cadnua, I'd burn down Durance Bay, Defiance Bay. Defiance Bay again. Again! By Durance, you meant Defiance. Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, I don't care.
Hello.
Does not matter to me one bit. Ducal Palace, the Valian Embassy. Andra's Gift, Brackenberry, Crucible Keep. The Temple of Wudica. You know, this place looks pretty fucking nice considering all the fires were burning here and everything, just, except for this, which was already ruined. Nothing looks like it's burned down. There's no scorch marks. There's no. The place looks fine. That lovable, crazed hobo has wormed his way into my brain. I think it would have been better if they'd made Durance a different class. What they would have done was give you a different priest character of a different god to actually be your priest, and they'd made Durance something else, like a monk or a fighter or something, and had him be like, yes, I was a priest of Magrin, but now she stopped talking to me and I've lost my faith, and therefore I don't have any of my priest powers. And he eventually can get his priest powers back or whatever. Well, no, but he wouldn't get him back because in the end he just rejects her. But then they would have had to give you a different priest character, because of course you have to have a priest. Well, I mean, I've been running without one, but you're supposed to have a priest. He's like the littlest hobo, only he's not little. And he doesn't go to town helping people. And he's not Canadian, or a dog for that matter. So in other words, he's not like the littlest hobo in any way. Speak with Chancellor Warren at the Hall of Records inside the palace. You can also have Durance reaffirm his faith in Magrin. Oh. I guess if I had taken a different tack in the conversation. I don't know. Chancellor Warren is awaiting me at the Hall of Records inside the Ducal Palace. What's up, Sidley? What do you have to say? Can't believe the mob left this place in one piece. With Duke Evar gone, we've got our work cut out for us. Oh yeah, the Duke was killed. See, this place too. Considering all the rioting and burning and everything that happened here. Let's talk to this Magron woman and see if Durance has anything lippy to say to her.
Greetings.
No. Durance doesn't have anything lippy to say to her. Oh, there's no guards here to stop me from stealing this now. Oh yeah, but I don't steal on this playthrough, I forgot. I've never actually stolen anything with Katie. There's Chancellor Warren and Marshal Forwin. Who are these people? Okay, let's quick save before we get into some shit. Oh! You're right, Saito! I'm like, let's see if Durance has anything lippy to say. Durance isn't in my party. So unless he was gonna, like, call in... Phone rings, Durance is like, yo, are you talking to that damn fucking priest of Magron? Tell her this! Alright, what do these people want? Oh, there's the records keeper. The man busies his slender hands filing scored books and rolls of dusty parchment according to some obscure yet deliberate scheme. Marshal Forwin, who are you? I believe you have business with Chancellor Warren. Fine. Chancellor Warren, what do you want from me? Thank you for coming, Katie. I'd been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshal Forwin, Earl Badamar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Durance would only use the most angry of emoticons. Yeah, totally. Like the angry red face. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit you've created a bit of stir throughout the nobility with your reclamation of Cadnua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. Get to the point. The legitimacy of your claim to Cadnua is in question. Earl Badamar has issued a ruling on the matter. Even though I, as a player, give zero fucks about Cadnua, I'm going to pretend, for the sake of role-playing. Really, that's the major reason for creating a stir, claiming Cadnua? I know, right? Considering all the other stuff I've done? Look, motherfuckers. Me and my three dead dragons say, I'm keeping this fucking place. Cadnua is mine. Any who challenge my claim will face my wrath. Threats will not make your occupation of Cadnua legal, I'm afraid. Only the Earl can do that. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? What was that about Road Warden? The Road Warden. Kind of like the Road Warrior, but a little bit different. The one who rules Cadnua on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. The Marshal nods and smiles. She's like the unmother of dragons. Tell me about Earl Badamar. Earl Badamar comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance, some 150 years ago. Yeah, I'm thrilled. The Deerwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Badamars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. As to the current Badamar, he is as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me more about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses noble settlements such as New Haomar, Garen's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and, of course, Cadnua. Yenwood? When the Deerwood was a mere colony of Edda, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the adherents were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. I have other questions. Of course. What do you know of Gathbin? While I've met him but once, it was ample time to determine the character of Lord Arladur Gathbin, or lack thereof. He is descended from an old Adirian line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Rana Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Deerwood. I see. So he descends from the proper ruler of the keep or whatever. So, like, by law and lineage and genealogy and all that, he should be the Lord of Cadnua. Is that what we're getting here? I have other questions. Of course. Do you know which way Earl Badamar has ruled? I'm sorry, my lord. It's milady, actually, motherfucker. Do you not see that I have tits? I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. I don't have any more questions. Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathbin now. Of course he does. I should just fucking go to Killtown on all these people right now. Killtown. It's a place. Oh, look at us all lined up, all cute. We're ready for a picture. An opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. I already hate this guy. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark, glinting mail shadows his steps before taking position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Okay, she seems cool. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I've other matters to attend to. It's well known that Cadnua belongs to me by right. And where is this pretender? She who murdered the Radricks, my own sister and her husband, and steals my land. I didn't... Whoa, slow your roll. I didn't murder Lady Radric. Lord Radric did that. I avenged her by murdering him, so calm your shit. Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This woman here? This is the Lady of Cadnua? I thought she was just another servant. Perhaps a valet or scullery maid. No, I attack. If this was a fucking pen and paper RPG and a DM was saying this, I'd be like, I attack. Fuck him. Fuck him. Sap. Stunning arrow up his ass. Alright. Can we get on with this, please? Be interesting to see what the option is if you're actually an aristocrat. That'd be cool. Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of the Gathman claim on Cadnua, Earl Badamar finds that the Gathman claim was never relinquished. By law, Cadnua is the rightful property of the Gathman family. I knew it! Gathman smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not finished yet reading, my lord. Gathman rolls his eyes and motions for the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes Katie's part in reclaiming Cadnua, a site that has stood abandoned and even, some would say, cursed for over a century. Before Cadnua is returned to the Gathman family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathman will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not! Gathman folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord? Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable and a requirement for your land to be returned to you, if you'll just allow me to finish. No, the Earl hasn't been able to enforce his edicts this far south in decades, and now Duke Evar is dead. Earl Badamar's enemies outweigh his allies, it appears. I'll not pay a single copper to this miscreant for my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. I have a message you can send that son of a whore! Gathman raises an open hand as the Chancellor shrinks from him, arms raised in defense. Oh, hell no. This motherfucker's going down. Yes, I'm punching Gathman, and I'm doing it with great joy. Go! Gathman's nose crunches under your fist. He staggers back with a hand clutched over the injury, teary eyes wide with shock. Well, this is by far the best legal dispute I've ever been to. Glad you're enjoying yourself, Kana. The elven woman definitely draws a pistol from her thick leather belt. Her eyes widen in anticipation. Listen, lady, I'm not sure if you've done a little math here, but you're pretty outnumbered. Also, 3 dead dragons say we're gonna win this fight. My lord, my lady, please. There's no need for further violence. Lord Gathman holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. I'd like to recruit her. She seems pretty legit. Well, I can't say that Gathman's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy, except for when I punched him. I've dealt with much worse. I hope you're right. Warren smiles thinly. In any case, Cadnua now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gathman has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter, which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Cadnua. By right, it's yours now. I gained a unpronounceable item. That's cool. Geared Hewanus Stennis added to inventory. Probably butchered the shit out of that. I really wish... Here's the deal. Yes, it makes things seem kind of historical and believable, right? I mean, it adds to the flavor of the world. But I kind of wish they hadn't gone with language in this game based so much on, like, Welsh and Old English and Gaelic and whatever else the fuck it's based on that's all unpronounceable words and accent marks and shit. Couldn't they have gone with some names that are easy? I mean, one thing, I mean, the Forgotten Realms is kind of a boring setting and kind of blah, but at least all the names in the Forgotten Realms are easily pronounceable. Looks like you're going to kill the scion of the Gathman family to get ownership of his lands, just like in real pre-modern times. I guess, yeah. I'm not having shit sent to Lord Gathman as a token of friendship. Not even Seraphina would do that. No, not that one either. I have never chosen a cruel dialogue option in this game. Not once. And I'm about to choose one for the first time. Because I feel like this is legit. Tell Gathman if I catch him or any of his people on my land, they'll be executed. An extreme measure, to be sure, but I will pass the message along. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, milady. Warren bows. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Katie. The Marshal nods at you and leaves. Alright, see ya. Glad we could have this talk, I guess. Lord Gathman rejected the Earl of Yenwood's decree, and Cadnua remains in my possession. Something tells me that Lord Gathman isn't done with me yet. I should remain on my guard. Oh, that's it. That ends the quest. Apparently I have to wait around, maybe, at this point. You like the Celtic lore? It's an area of mythology that gets far too little attention. I guess. I like the Eastern European, like Slavic kind of lore stuff like they do in The Witcher. That's pretty awesome.
Eyes open.
So I guess I'm gonna head back to Cadnua and sit around and rest and see if something happens. I thought there was gonna be a lot more involved with this because somebody told me that the things you do in the regular game and in the expansion affect what happens in this quest. And that's why I saved this quest until the very last. Maybe all that is still gonna happen, but I don't know. Kings of Amalur was basically pure Celtic mythology. Yes, but they did it without a bunch of unpronounceable names. They didn't base the actual language on like actual Welsh or Celt or Gaelic or whatever. At least not as much as this game does. I mean, it's so bad that this game had to give you not one but 2 different books on how to pronounce shit. And of course, I don't actually remember, you know, but I have the books. I should still have the books because I haven't gotten rid of any books. Here's one. Yeah, they had to explain all this. Because it's not intuitive how to do these pronunciations. And there was another book too besides this one. That's the Adiran dialects. And there was one, I don't know where it is, but about like Ingwithan language as well. Here's the Geirhewenestenis thing. Oh, wow, it's an actual soulbound item. The Bluestone Scepter is remarkable in that it has been shaped from a single sapphire. The only other component is its grip, made of silver bands. Wait a minute, you telling me this long-ass scepter was made of a single sapphire? How the fuck big was that sapphire? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty obvious, Saito. Well, nobody in my team uses a sapphire, so, I mean, uses... We don't fight with sapphire. We only fight with emeralds and rubies around here. No, none of my team uses scepter, so... Boop. I guess we'll just head back to Cadnua and faff about. What do I have to do before venturing forth?
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Alright, cool, thanks. That never gets old. I mean, I'm sure it does for people watching, but it never gets old for me. Let's see what's going to happen here. Because this is the final thing of the game before going down the hole to Chapter 4. Faffing about all day, every day. Yeah. Because I got too much booty in my pants. Booty, 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 booty,
This
booty, booty,
place
booty, booty,
as
booty, booty,
beautiful as it
everywhere.
can be with the absence of children.
That might have been too many booties. The God Hole, also known as the Hole of Glory. I don't think that's what it's... No, I'm not going down the glory hole. It's not known as that. It's most certainly not known as that. Well, now that I'm here... What? Seriously, what? What? I'm here. What's gonna happen? If shit's gonna happen, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it cracking. I guess I'll go inside the keep. I have a fuck ton of like little quest rewards and stuff waiting for me in there, but I don't think I actually want to use any of them. Half and about all day, every day. These loading screens, though. It's said that only the gods chosen and some Republican congressman can enter that portal. Wow, even the whole concept of a glory hole fucking repulses me. And that includes being on either side of it. What's up, steward? Anything going on?
You've done it. I felt the change from here. It's as if there was a noise, a voice, underlying every sound in the keep, and I had simply ceased to notice. The silence now seems almost strange. You have done what the Earls, their descendants, and hosts of explorers could not. There is nobody left to challenge your claim. You are well and truly Master of Cadnua. We have known that from the beginning, of course. But now, all the world will know and share my pride in your accomplishments.
Apparently the steward's really happy with us. Maybe this must be because we killed the Audra dragon. And we never talked to her since then. We gained 8 prestige and security, that's rad. What is the state of the keep? It seems you have quite the esteemed visitor. A veteran of the Saints' War, he's an inspiration to your guards, and makes for fascinating conversation, I've found. I wonder if it wouldn't be worthwhile to have someone take his account down on parchment. Well, on to business. Wait, who is this visitor? Oh, maybe it's Odana Fergus. Or Azuro, or why do I have so many prestigious visitors right now? What is actually happening here? It seems your fame is spreading, my lady. I have heard travelers speaking of your accomplishments in Defiance Bay. If you'll forgive me saying so, it is a relief to find the keep in the command of someone more connected to the world. It is so easy to let things fall by the wayside. Alright, no, where's this visitor? Where are you at, visitor? It's not Valian Shockmage, he's just one of my team. One of my security crew. We have a ton. Oh my god, a ton! Look at all this money that's sitting in here for us. Look at all these components that are sitting in here for us. Oh my god. Because it's been forever since I came and claimed this shit. Potions. And then there's all these items from the little side missions that we've sent Aloth on. Oh my god. Wow. So many scrolls. Revival scrolls. Store major endurance. The Hellwax mold. This hinged mold has the amazing power to fully duplicate non-soulbound weapons, shields, armor, and other equipment placed inside of it. The immense magical energy required to fabricate the copy uses the mold for raw material and wholly consumes it in the process. I can duplicate an item? Is that something I even want to do? Oh my god, the amount of stuff. The amount of stuff. The amount of stuff! What item would I duplicate? Item would I even duplicate? I don't know. I really don't. Kind of don't want to decide right now. Maybe this cloak go on Devil of Karok. Oh, cool. A link to the song. Awesome. Yeah. I wanted that. I wanted that. Okay. Well, I don't know where this special guest she's talking about is. Okay, presumably he's not down in the fucking dungeons. Let's go upstairs. More loading screen action. No, he's not up here. I don't know why he would be. This is just a barracks. He's in your room going through your delicates? Maybe. He might be over. He might be at my house instead of in the main keep here. Did he just appear here, maybe? He did not just appear here. I don't think he's going to be in my library, but it will annoy me if I don't at least check. Because I'll be thinking, maybe he was in that library. I didn't check. Wait, why are there all these new books here? Or maybe I just read them and left them on the shelves. I don't know. Because I know I came in here and read all the books. These are like the books about the different gods, mostly. Edrang, well, that's not a book about a god. Handgram. Well, no guest in here, nonetheless. I guess we'll head over to the house next. Starting to suspect we're not really going to find this guy, though. I think the steward lied to us. Or gave us outdated information. We'll check the grounds as well. He was
place.
executed by
As
mistake
beautiful
because
as it
they
can
thought
be
he was
with
with
the
Catherine. Whoa! What's going on with my mercenary? Oh. It was just the floating skull floating over. I thought he had some kind of weird effect on him, and he was like, we're under attack! They've dazed my mercenary captain. Orderless Disciple. Brutish Warriors, sup, B-dubs? Brutish Warriors like, do not call me B-dubs. Sure thing, B-dubs. He's not going to be inside one of these little shops. There's my Rawatai line breaker. Just kind of like a linebacker. Gold Pack Knight. Look at my gardens. I'm growing some shit. Herb Mastery. I must break you. Alright, let's go to the house. It's a nice house. Yeah, in most games I'm completely indifferent to player housing. I don't know. I really liked the safe houses that you had, your little apartments that you had in Alpha Protocol, though. I liked those a lot. And it felt cool going back to them each time between missions. But most other games, I don't know, the housing has been something I've been really indifferent to.
Slowly now. Ah, the famed rustic charm of the Deerwood.
That kind of sounded like an insult, Palagina. Kinda did. Anybody chilling in here? Okay, we'll go upstairs in a minute. There's nobody here. There's not going to be somebody upstairs. That's where the private rooms are. Nobody, there wouldn't be a guest up there, would there? Because that's where, like, the rooms of my companions and stuff are. I don't think there's going to be anybody up here. So I don't know what to do next with this quest. I'll just travel around, I guess, and make time pass. And, there's Aloth, just chilling. What's going on with his bed? Oh. Right. There's Aloth. There's Sagani. There's Haravius and Zaha. Would they have to share a room? I mean, I have a lot of rooms here. Look, nobody's using this room. Or maybe they chose to share a room. Maybe there's a little romance going on. Maneha, she's got her own room. Durance has his own room where he chills without clothes. And nobody's using this room either. Have you played Sleeping Dogs? I have not played it, no. And, I mean, like, smart money would be on the idea that you haven't played it either, since you haven't played anything else. Oh, but you know every single thing about it. Smart money says Saito has not played it, but still knows more about it than people who have played it. Alright. Guess we're done here. No, you have? Wow. What sorcery is this? Alright. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. In our next one, we will try to travel around and fuck off and try to... No,
Well
don't
done.
do it! Don't do it,
Formidable
Palagina!
fortress in the old style. We don't build them like this anymore, you know.
Cannons.
Not by the sea.
Cannons.
Too vulnerable to cannons.
Yeah, I know. Cannons. Got it. Thanks. In our next episode, we'll travel around and try to trigger something happening here. So, trigger warning. That wasn't as clever as I thought it was. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Pillars of Eternity.